Hi everybody, thanks for coming back and joining me on Beck's Best. I am here today with one of my family's favorites, actually nutritious side dish or main dish that we love to eat. This is parsley salad, or also known as tabbouleh to those of you that like to dip into other kinds of cuisines. This is part of a Mediterranean type of cuisine where it uses a lot of just fresh and natural ingredients. As you know, anyone that's familiar with the Mediterranean diet, parsley is one of the fresh herbs that is visited several times in a lot of dishes. Super healthy for digestion, really chock-packed with vitamins and minerals, and super easy to grow in your backyard. So this is homegrown parsley. And this dish, although it looks super elegant at the end, is super quick and easy, only has a handful of ingredients, your choice of a few of them. Now what we have going on here, I use red onion. I have discovered that the flavor it offers this dish is just a leap above what a white onion does. So red onion for this. We have Roma tomatoes. I've also used grape tomatoes, which again, the flavor that offers is a little different, and your choice. The spices are going to be very simple: black pepper, allspice, and salt. We also use olive oil for this dish. It's another very, very popular addition to a Mediterranean diet type of dish. So we will throw that in. We'll also use lemon juice, or if you have fresh lemons, that's also another fantastic option to flavor this dish, just to make it that much sweeter as far as flavor goes, that much fresher, I should say. And then if you have at home, this is dried peppermint. Again, a very tiny handful of this herb will boost this dish, the flavor of this dish, up like no other. So come along with me as we get started. There's a couple of different ways to do this. The one main ingredient that I did not delve into yet is this. This is extra fine bulgur. It is a wheat type product that comes in a few different packaging, but for this dish, there's also different sizes of this. This dish, we're going to use the very fine cracked wheat. And right before we get started with actually into the making of the dish, what we're going to do is soak a batch of this so that it gets soft, so that when we're ready to eat this dish, we are not cracking on the hard texture of these pieces of wheat. Now for this dish, I'm not making a huge amount. We'll use just under a half a cup. And all I'm gonna do, I just wanna show you all. So again, the consistency of this, it's very fine. You'll also find different levels of different numbers associated with how finely ground this wheat is. Again, for this dish, you're going to want fine, that they're very, very tiny pieces, almost look like salt, but very neutral flavor. You can use this. I've also used hemp heart seeds for this dish. It boosts up the protein as opposed to the carbs that this gives you. So whatever your preference is, main thing, hemp hearts do not need to be softened if you're using the bulgur. We're gonna go ahead and put that in the bowl that we're gonna serve the dish in, and we're going to run some cold water over it and let it soak so that it can soften up and be ready to eat when we're ready. So I'm just gonna put some water over it, just so you can see what I'm doing. I've put some water, and we're gonna slosh it around a little bit, and what you're gonna see is the cracked wheat will absorb the water, and we'll continue working, but by the end you'll see that all the water has been absorbed, and this will help with the texture of the wheat. On to the next step. What I've done is, like I said, I've gone and picked some fresh parsley from our garden. The stalk, as you can see, is long, so they are okay to be eaten. If you prefer not to have a lot of stalk in the dish, then all we do is clip it and to this size so that there's not much stalk hanging out. So I've had little helpers help me pick this parsley. So you could see some of them were a little more aware of getting rid of the stalk, and some of them just left a little bit more on. Like I said, either way is fine, but you don't want a ton of stalk remaining. Now, you can do this one of two ways. Our job is to chop this parsley. You can hand chop it, but in the case of time saving, you can put it in one of your food processors, and depending on the amount that you're making, if you have a large one, you could use a large one. I'm gonna go for this smaller one, just because this will serve about 4 of us today. So this is like spinach in the sense that this looks like so much parsley. Once it's ground down, you'll be surprised at how little it looks like. So this has been washed and strained. I washed and strained it prior to picking, so these are clean and they're ready to be used. I'm going to jump to a machine that has a little bit of a stronger power. So you can try different gadgets that you have. We're going to go ahead and try this Ninja and see what it does. So again, you don't want to completely chop them to smithereens. You just want to pulse so that these become little flakes comparable to this. You don't want to keep it on running for very long or else it'll turn to water. So just some pulses here. So you can see how quickly, and that is really all you're looking for. You are looking for the parsley to just chop up to little bite-sized pieces. So if you find some that did not get chopped, go for it. But this is what we're looking at here so far. And do the rest of this parsley. So same deal. I filled up the batch, pulsing it. I don't want to pulverize this. This has, again, chopped it up. It's not super runny. They're not very small. They're still going to be able to be picked up by a spoon or a fork while you're eating. I want to show you what this looks like. This was the cracked wheat. You can see all the water has been absorbed. So it will continue to sit in that. You can see now it is no longer little grains. It's become a little puffier, and those will continue to puff up a little bit so that they are soft when we eat them. Our next step will be adding the parsley. I like to put each ingredient sort of in its own little corner. So we're gonna go ahead, and this is the chopped parsley. There's that batch, and then we still have the batch in the mixer itself. Pretty finely chopped there. Go ahead and get every last bit out. Did you see how much it looked like it was gonna make? And look at the amount in this bowl. So there is our chopped parsley and our cracked wheat that has been soaked in water. The next step is going to be chopping to add a few more of the ingredients. I am a fan of red onion in this dish. We grew up using white onion, but from a flavor profile, this red onion really, really bumps this flavor up a notch. So we're gonna go ahead and just chop this very small. So you can see again, the size of these is not spectacular. You just want them tiny, just for a little bit of flavor. Again, these will be raw in the dish, so you don't want to overpower the bite. So what we're gonna do before we put it in this dish is we're gonna add some spice directly to the onion to add the flavor. So again, like I said, we have salt, we have black pepper, a little bit of allspice, which is a combination of different spices. It's called the 7 spice. So this is a fantastic addition. I use it a ton in cooking. You will see if you follow my channel. So remember, like and subscribe, and you'll see how versatile this particular spice is. It is awesome. Added allspice, pepper, and salt directly to the onions. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to take the onions and mix it together. So you could see what's going on here is I'm just sort of getting that flavor into the onions. So I think there looks good. And again, this is just personal preference. You really don't have to do it this way, but this is how I was brought up. I always remember seeing pockets of food going where they were going. You have the red onion, cracked wheat, parsley. And now the added bonus of some Roma tomatoes. So again, I love to try with different flavors. So I grate tomatoes, beefsteak tomatoes, all kinds of different versions of tomatoes. The one thing you don't want is a lot of juice coming out because otherwise that will dilute the flavor of the salad a little bit. So let's put the size. You could take out the pulp there. Okay, I think one will do for this size batch again. This is it. Just little bite-sized chunks. I guess what you would find in fresh salsa. That's about the size you're looking for. I know it's hard to believe, but guess what? That is really all you have as far as ingredients goes. That took me maybe 5 minutes. We used to chop the parsley by hand. That is really the time-consuming part, but if you've got that food processor, look at how simple that was. We will start with our olive oil. And my motto in this house is we could always add more. We can't take it out once it's in. So 3 tablespoons of olive oil. And then, like I said, if you've got lemon, 1 lemon, the juice of 1 lemon would work. And again, flavor it according to your palate. Or we can try this. We'll go with 2 to start. 2 tablespoons of lemon juice. And before we add any more salt and pepper, we're going to give this a good stir. You don't want to be too rough with the stirring, just so that we're not excreting more juices from the dish itself. So look at this. So you've got, in every bite, parsley, some lemon juice, olive oil, tomatoes, and cracked wheat. This makes an excellent dish on its own. It's a nutritional boost right there. Or it makes a great side dish to grilled chicken, to rice. It could be anything that you would add a normal salad to on the side. So you can top it with a little bit more salt, just a dab, and pepper. This will be the talk of your buffet for sure. So some people eat it with pita bread. Some people you can just scoop, put it on a bite of romaine. Let's give it a try. The flavors are so fresh, very satisfying on a nice summer day, or just on a day where you just are craving freshness, fresh food, healthy food. The last thing we did not add, if you would like to top it with some very small amount of dried peppermint. So go ahead, serve this at your next party. Make it for yourself. Literally did not even take me 15 minutes to make, and I can tell my family we have a healthy lunch or dinner right in front of us. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe for more fun recipes that family will love and that you'll love. Bye.